Hey guys, I thought I'd try a little something different with the vlog today. I was just checking my notifications earlier and Colleen had this really cool idea to make, in addition to the critter hats for the little amigurumi bunnies, she thought it would be really cute if they had other things like purses and sweaters and whatnot. So I had this really nifty idea for a backpack and I thought I would make it today while I sat here and chatted with you. And it's really simple and quick, so I thought I'd try something different and I would explain what I was doing while I did it. You can sort of still see what I'm doing, but I'm going to be sort of facing you instead. Now, this isn't going to be a super explanatory tutorial, like you're not going to be able to, I guess, drone in. Today's tutorial is going to be sort of casual. I'm going to explain what I'm doing, I'm going to stop every once in a while and show you. I'm going to still like sort of keep my work up near my face where I tend to work, and you can sort of still see what I'm doing, but I'm going to explain what I'm doing. If you've made the beach charm bag, this is going to be somewhat similar, but dare I say even easier. So I'm going to make a backpack for the little amigurumi bunny. So I guess this is sort of like an amigurumi bunny backpack accessory? I don't know. Anyway, today I'm using a smaller hook than what I normally do. This is a size 4 millimeter, and you know what, it might even be better if you used a slightly smaller one, so like a 3.5 millimeter. But this one's comfortable in my hands, and I think given the sort of work I'm going to be doing, I think this is big enough. This is crochet thread, so not your typical yarn that I use. It's not worsted weight. At best, it's like a size 2, maybe a 1.5 on the yarn scale. It's not so fine that it's a thread, but it's not really a fingering weight yarn either. It's sort of somewhere in the middle. I can't even tell you where this is or what make it is. This is another one of those oddballs that came my way from a friend or a charity bag or a secondhand store or something. I tend to get a lot of yarn this way because I don't do a lot of really big projects. I've done them in the past. But I don't tend to buy balls of yarn, sort of like 8 to 12 of the same exact color or make, because I don't make a lot of sweaters or things. I have made sweaters, and I've even made skirts, and I've made ponchos, and I've made capes, and I've made all sorts of things. And maybe when I'm down the road, I'll do a really in-depth tutorial on one of those, but for now I think we'll just keep to the tiny little simply made in an hour sort of little projects, because if you're like me, you don't have a lot of time to dedicate to the things that you love, like crafting, and it's nice to be able to sit down, do a project, finish it, and be able to enjoy it all in the same evening. So, that being said, I am going to jump right into this little backpack for my little bunny here, and I'm going to use this blue thread because it's sort of what I had lying around. Start with a slip knot, so you make a little loop, you put your hook through it, grab the yarn, pull it back, and then pull both ends until it hangs on your hook like that. And because this isn't going to be very big, I'm going to chain 5. I'm not going to go any longer than that. This is going to be the bottom of the backpack, and the backpack is going to start with we're going to work in the round around this link, these links. And you know what, I'm just going to dive in and I'll show you what I'm doing. So I'm going to chain 5, and I'm going to single crochet back along these 4. So you always use the last chain as the turning chain. I'm going to single crochet into the next 4. So let me get that done. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4 brings me back to the beginning. Into that same end stitch, I'm going to chain or single crochet 2 more. I'm all befuddled today. I think you can probably tell I got some sun, so maybe my brain is a bit baked too. Then I'm going to turn it so that I'm going to work back across the bottom of that foundation row, and there should be another 4 that I can put in here. So there's 1, 2, 3, and you know what, that takes me pretty much to the end. I'm going to put, that's the last little one there. I'm going to put another one in that last hole, so that there should be technically 3 single crochets on each end of this thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 10. Let's stay with 10. All right, we're going to continue all the way around. So I'm not going to join this row with a slip stitch. I'm just going to single crochet into the next stitch. And I'm going to single crochet in every single stitch all the way around. And I think I'm going to do that for 3 rows. In total, if you count up from the bottom spine, or the very bottom of this is going to be a backpack, you'll have 4 rows in total. And I'm just going to zip along and do that. And you guys can catch back up with me as soon as you've completed your 4 rows. Okay, so that's 4 rows. The guy isn't very big. I mean, if you take a look at your critter, his back is only, how many rows deep are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he's only 6 rows deep himself, so we don't want this to be too long. After you've completed your 4 rows, you're going to add on a 5th row all the way around, which is going to have holes all the way around so that you can run a drawstring through it. So I call this the drawstring hole row, and that's very difficult to say 4 times fast, so I'm only going to say it once. So you're going to continue to single crochet, and then you're going to chain 1, you're going to skip the next stitch, and you're going to go into the stitch after that and single crochet. And chain 1, skip the next, go into the next stitch, and single crochet. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, go into the next one, and single crochet. Chain 1, skip the next stitch, go into the next one, and single crochet. And I think that's enough all the way around. I think I'm going to slip stitch all the way around. This will be my final row. I'm going to slip stitch into every single crochet from the previous row, and I'm going to slip stitch into the holes that I created. So instead of the actual stitch, I'm going to slip stitch into the actual hole, and basically all that's going to do is just sort of make the holes a little more defined, so when I go to run a drawstring through it later, it'll be easier to do because you can tell which is a hole and which is actually a stitch. Oh, no, I didn't do that one alright. And one more. And one more. Okay. Alright, so I've slip stitched all the way around, and that's kind of closed in my little sack, so it's not going to require much of a drawstring. In fact, I might not even slip stitch or chain a drawstring, which I normally do. I might just run a regular piece of this thread through it. So I'm going to snip that, fasten off. I'm going to grab my yarn needle, and I'm just going to sort of weave this in to some of the stitches, and then I'm going to just trim off my end. There we go. So that is one cute little bag. What kind of accessories would a small amigurumi bunny carry around with them, do you think? Miniature carrots? Maybe a, I don't know. Here's some thinking. Anyway, let's put a drawstring through it, shall we? So I'm just going to cut a length of this same string I was using, not too long, and I'm going to thread it through my needle because I think this might actually be the easiest way to do this. And I'm going to run my needle through each of the holes that I created. And there's really not that many of them, so that'll do. There we go. There, just so there's a little drawstring. And you can tie that in a quick bow. There. Now, how do we turn this into a backpack, you may ask? Easy. We're going to create 2 straps by anchoring our string at the top 2 corners of this little sack edge, and we're going to chain 1 and attach it at the bottom corner, and chain the other one and attach it at the bottom corner. And since his little arms aren't very big, I think we did 4 single crochets all the way around, and that was with a 4.25mm hook, and it was worsted weight yarn. So just to make sure that it sits on him comfortably, I think we'll chain 4. So let's anchor it first. So we're going to create another slip knot, and you anchor that onto, I'm going to start with one corner. Got the loop on your hook. You stick your hook in wherever it is you want to anchor that loop. Wrap your string around it and just pull through everything, including the loop that was on your hook. And that kind of anchors it. We'll weave in the little tails later, so don't worry about them. So now I'm going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you know what? 5. 5. We're going to chain 5, and I'm going to bring my hook down to the bottom corner of my little backpack here, and I'm going to do the same thing I did to attach it in the first place. I'm going to wrap the yarn around my hook and just pull it back through everything. Then I'm going to snip it, and I'm going to fasten off. There. There's one strap, and now we're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Grab the yarn and pull it back through everything. Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then pick the bottom corner and slip your hook through that bottom corner and pull the yarn back through everything. Snip your string and fasten off. Now, take a moment to weave in all of your loose ends. So once you've woven in all of your little loose ends, it's time to put it on your bunny. So this little guy is now ready to go off to school. There. One bunny with a little bunny backpack. So there you go, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We were off on the run again this weekend, so we have another cute little tutorial coming up. Something is a little different than what I normally do. It's an applique, and I just thought I'd give it a try because I was inspired by this cute little town that we found, but I'll tell you more about that in the next video. Please make sure you like and subscribe, comment, and offer me suggestions. I love it when you guys come up with little ideas like this. I mean, this is just so cute. I hope that was easy to follow. If it wasn't, or if you have questions about it, please ask me down below in the comment section, and I will be happy to respond or try to provide some sort of clarification. In the meantime, have a wonderful week. Tune in soon because we're going to have that other tutorial up, and in the meantime I will cook up something else to make for you guys, and hopefully next time I see you we will stitch it up together. So have a great week, guys. Bye. Thank you. Next.